welcome to a new video. I am taking this Honda Trail 125 out for a ride. I am starting by the Ohio River in Louisville, Kentucky. This area a couple weeks ago was all underwater because there was a lot of rain and flooding and the water levels were up, so all of this would have been underwater. I'll insert some clips from when I went for a ride a little bit ago on an e-bike down through this area to check out what all the water levels looked like. You couldn't even get to this area down by River Road by the Ohio River front area. It was all underwater. And so far, the trip to get to where I'm at right now, everything looks like it's dried out and back to normal. I know that the city had to do a massive cleanup effort to get things ready at the riverfront for the Chow Wagon, which is an event that is held as part of the Kentucky Derby Festival, which is where they have food and drink and beer and carnival rides and games and all kinds of stuff at the waterfront park area down by the river. So they missed out on Thunder Over Louisville and had to cancel it because everything is still underwater. But they did get it cleaned up in time for all this Chow Wagon stuff and the other events they're going to hold in this area, because they did the balloon glow the other day, which is where each year they have a hot air balloon race, and then the night before is the balloon glow, where all the balloons set up and, you know, light up at nighttime using the gas burners, and it makes a nice cool display. And they host that typically down by the riverfront. So let's see if this area is underwater. I think it'll all be dry, because this is by Eva Badman Park, which is where down, not necessarily in this specific area that I'm going to, there's a cyclocross venue. Okay, so they have the gate to this closed, and it looks like there's still a bit of water in some of the fields. So still completely passable on foot, but they may have some of that, they may have the gates closed to help keep people from going through and tearing the terrain up in the mud. So can't really go through there, but yeah, in the woods they have mountain bike trails and jumps and stuff, which, since I have the bigger, heavier e-bikes, I've never actually taken those through there to see exactly what that all looks like. Yeah, but this is River Road, so this is where you couldn't really get to any of this, you know, a couple weeks ago. Because I remember there were, like, so over to the right, the fields that are part of Champions Park, these soccer fields, I think these are all underwater. And up ahead in the distance, a little bit further up, there was, there is a gas station and a hotel. Because people stay at the hotel, they go to one of the hospitals for things, or just for tourism purposes. But the water levels were so elevated, they were having to bring boats in to get people out of the hotel who were stuck. You know, couldn't leave the hotel, so they had to bring little dinghies and fishing boats and stuff in to get people out. I'm not sure how far, because no, there was also some construction stuff going on independent of the flooding that had changed some of the traffic pattern. I actually didn't think to look into all of that. So yeah, this yeah, the hotel over to the right was the one I was talking about. That was it the Candlewood Suites that was underwater? And this is Thurman Hutchins Park, I believe. A lot of this would have been impacted by the water levels a few weeks ago as well. Because here there are sports fields for like softball or baseball. And people just come here and play with their dog, throw frisbee, run around, do all kinds of stuff. And then across the street from here is Cox Park, which is a park that has boat launch ramps to the Ohio River. So you'll often see people that are launching their boats, or that are just chilling out in that general area. See if I can go across here to Cox Park. I think in past videos when I've come through, I've called it Cox's Park, which isn't correct. It's Cox Park. Okay, so they have this road completely shut off. So I can't go through the road. Oh, this is all muddy. Don't know if it's worth going through here or not. Maybe I can do a little cut around the sidewalk. Go see the riverfront view. I think these entrances are all muddy, but I might be able to go through here without issue. Yeah, so a lot of this is dry at this point, just still a little bit messy. Yeah, so this is another vantage point, another view of the Ohio River as the sun is getting close to setting. So on the other side is Indiana, and they have a boat launch ramp park directly across from here as well. Yeah, so this is water levels down. This park is usable, if not a little muddy still. So now I'm going to finish this ride out, going to some additional areas that are closer to the river that wasn't able to go to a few weeks ago. This is no longer in the kind of downtown Louisville River Road area, and I'm now more in the Portland neighborhood in Louisville. And go through here. I don't know exactly where all the water reached through this area, because when I went through to check things out a few weeks ago, whenever that ride was, I'm forgetting exactly how long ago it was, so much of the stuff was underwater and hard to get to. I didn't continue going down further because I didn't want to keep hitting closed roads and stuff that you couldn't even get through anyway. So, we'll just go through here real quick and wrap things up. So this is turning on to Northwestern Parkway. And I've done videos through this area before. I think even on this bike, but can't remember if I've ever gone through kind of in the golden hour, you know, sunset time frame. And I had to update the settings on the camera that I'm using to manual settings, because before I just had it on full auto. But I think that once you get into low light scenarios, the default settings struggle to give you a decent usable image. So I just change them over to manual, and it usually looks great. Well, it works great when it's a fully nighttime dark scene. It's a little bit iffier on these kind of sunset golden hour shots where it's low light, but there is still light off in the distance. And I'm using the Insta360 One R camera with the 1-inch sensor, because I have been using the Insta360 Ace Pro, but then I think the thing with the Ace Pro that between that one and like the DJI Action Pro or whatever. So I don't actually have the DJI Action cameras, but watched significant amount of test footage from those, and obviously I have the Ace Pro. They just don't have, like, they can produce very nice images. I see a lot of people make videos with them and they look great. It's just they lack a certain optical quality that you get from an actual camera, and I feel like this Insta360 One R gets the closest to providing that. And so that's why I'm using that right now. So I've started using a little bit more in the daytime, just to stretch it out and make sure I'm happy with how the image looks across the board with it. The only reason I hadn't used this one a ton more is that, you know, it's the 1-inch sensor, so the lens on it is relatively large, or the lens cover that comes on it. And since it's a little bit older camera, they just discontinued it. They don't even sell it anymore. I couldn't find any replacement lens covers, or, you know, even, you know, because I tried to find ones that were exact same one, couldn't find it. Couldn't even find any of the ones that have polarizer covers or different ND levels, you know, the neutral density, where it reduced the amount of light coming in. So I couldn't find any replacement lens covers for it. So if I crack the lens cover on it, it's kind of done. But I don't think I've ever gotten any real scratches or nicks on the lens covers of any of the cameras I've used to shoot these videos over the years, doing these kinds of rides. Now, if you're going on the highway or through places that where there's a lot of gravel, then that may not hold true. But, you know, the Trail 125 or the Navi, which I used to have, or the various e-bikes where you're not going that fast, maybe there's not as much to worry about. So this is Northwestern Parkway. It'll end at Shawnee Park. So I'll let that be the final destination for this video. And it is 8:42 p.m. So it's, you know, getting pretty close to nighttime. And, you know, these kinds of rides are the ones that stuff like the Trail 125 excels at. These kind of in-town trips where you might want to go off-road a little bit. You know, not motocross jumping 20-foot gaps on ramps and stuff, but you want to go through some dirt or some fields or something. It is funny because I know that I've shared videos on TikTok and different places. I mean, not that I like TikTok, I just have tried experimenting to see if, you know, any of the videos I've made, if I can pull parts from them to make something that people on that platform would like. And occasionally I'll see comments about, like, this bike, and they're like, oh, the, you know, the Trail 125 and the Grom and the Navi and the Super Cub and the Monkey, those are all girl bikes. Which, you know, I'm sure there are women who own them, and there's a lot of men as well. I think the thing that's just hard for a lot of people to kind of latch on to is everybody has different wants and needs when they're buying stuff. It doesn't all have to be, you know, the same desires. Some, you know, I don't want to go on the highway. And I like doing these kind of short in-town rides and having the ability to go off-road if I want to. So this works out just fine. I don't need a, you know, 650 or a 1200 or whatever. Or, you know, the big touring, you know, dual sport type bikes. Because also, I don't ride it enough to make it really worth spending that much income. Oh, there's some deer that hopefully I won't bother too much, and that you could actually have seen in the shot there, because it's kind of dark. But, you know, if I came into unlimited wealth, then sure, yeah, I'd make, you know, grab a couple bikes. But since that's not the case, I picked one up that's affordable, that does most of what I want. Then, yeah, so that's the Ohio River, and that's the old power plant that was partially demolished a while back, and I guess they'll take it the rest of the way down. But it's nice view through this area. But this boat ramp, you know, I don't see any trailers up here. I don't think anybody's launching any boats right now. I would venture to guess that this, so I'm recording this on April 27th on a Sunday. I'll probably get this video edited and out in a couple days. But there will be an event on the Ohio River, the steamboat race, coming up, where the Belle of Louisville, which is a steamboat, will race another steamboat on the Ohio River. It's one of the Derby festivities that's been going on forever. So I venture to guess on that day, which is on Wednesday, that there probably will be a lot of people launching boats onto the river. So it may actually be kind of busy for boat launches on that day, but I remember as a kid going to the steamboat race on a boat. The boat was not really big enough, so the water was really choppy, and it probably wasn't the safest, but I remember it being fun. It's obviously one of those things, you know, however many years later, I still remember, so. And this is, again, Shawnee Park. It's It's one of the parks that is maintained by the Olmsted Parks group in Louisville. Because Frederick Olmsted, who also designed Central Park in New York, did this one. Not sure what's going on. And so they designed Central Park in New York, and then the park system for Louisville, which would include like Iroquois Park, Shawnee Park, Cherokee Park, and then a handful of other ones. I'm not sure what's going on through here. I know that if you go through Shawnee Park on different days, people are hanging out with chairs, sometimes grilling, doing other stuff. I didn't even think about the fact that the park would actually probably be busier in the lead up to the Derby, since there's all the festivities going on. So it didn't take too long to get through there. Looks like Shawnee Park is not underwater. Looked in pretty decent shape, really. Because I know the city had to do some major cleanup effort after all of the flooding. So now I'm on Broadway, which is another main road that goes through Louisville. This is Broadway and 44th Street, I think. The numbered streets go down as you get closer to the main strip of downtown Louisville, so you'll eventually get to 1st Street. But yeah, I don't think I'll record the entire ride as I go down through Broadway back towards my house, because some of this is relatively uneventful. Yeah, so this was going, I started out by downtown Louisville, by River Road. I guess somewhat of the Butchertown neighborhood in downtown Louisville. And I just kind of went down to, I went to Cox Park and Thurman Hutchins Park to check out that. Then I went down Northwestern Parkway to Shawnee Park to check that out. Now I'm on Broadway heading back towards my neck of the woods. So yeah, that'll wrap up this ride. Until next time.